Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. Hope you're doing well. We got news out of American Airlines, more strikes. Now remember, I've been saying this for the past 6 months that you are going to see more and more unions become emboldened and fight for more money. Why? Because inflation is raging out of control. But I have also been warning people that are fighting for more money that you have to be careful. Why? Not only is this going to put the companies in jeopardy, right? Because there's less margins, but also where are you putting that money? Because it's just going to get inflated away. We have a currency crash that is going on right now. So let's do this. I'm going to switch over the news, and then I'm going to talk about this story about how American Airlines flight attendants are threatening to strike if they don't get a 35% raise. And from what it looks like, that has already been decided on, that the union members have overwhelmingly voted to strike. And then I'm going to share a story about a video I did and the reason why a lot of American pilots actually recognize me on flights whenever I'm flying around the country or the world. So here we go. This is out of the New York Post. Again, fired up. American Airlines flight attendants threaten to strike if they don't get a 35% raise. American Airlines flight attendants voted to authorize union leaders to call for a strike in their stalled effort to pressure management to agree to a 35% pay raise and other benefits. More than 99% of Americans, members of the Associated Professional Flight Attendants gave union leadership the green light to threaten a work stoppage if ongoing negotiations through a mediator didn't yield fruit. I also need to tell you about a crazy conversation I've had with a couple of flight attendants myself just recently. The airline, which last week approved a new contract with its pilots that gives them a 40% hike, and the union representing 26,000 flight attendants are scheduled to sit down with federal mediators next week in Dallas for more talks. Do me a favor, if you work for American Airlines, let me know if you're a flight attendant, ground support, if you work the ticket counters, or if you are a pilot, let me know down below. But flight attendants who spoke with the Post said their patience is wearing thin. We haven't had a raise since January of 2019. Paul Hartshorn Jr., a spokesperson for the union, told the Post. The union wants a 35% across-the-board salary bump and a 6% annual wage increase for the duration of a 3-year contract. Let me stop right there and tell you, if you are working for either American, United, any of these companies, I want you to understand this. Our dollar is becoming worthless. It is going to get worse. The Federal Reserve has not done raising rates, and we have countries that want to attack our economy, primarily India, Russia, China, the BRICS nations. This is very serious, and people need to, I'm all for if you get more money, don't get me wrong, but then what are you doing with that money? Are you paying down debt? Are you buying inflation hedging assets like rich people do? Rich people go buy gold for times of uncertainty. They pay off debt, they hunker down and they wait to pounce. What are you doing with that extra money? Let me go on. It says here, the Hartstrom also said that the union is demanding that management agree to beef up on-board staffing numbers that were cut due to the COVID pandemic. He said while American Airlines has added flights to meet surging travel demand, it has not adequately staffed those flights. Let me stop there also and say that if a lot of people in the travel industry were actually paying attention to the travel industry, they would know a couple of things have changed. Flight prices are coming down about the last 4 to 5 months. Why? Because less people are flying. However, flight attendants, what they see is they see completely packed planes. And what they don't see is how many fewer planes are actually in the air and how many more planes, as opposed to what we saw in 2018, 2019, are sitting on tarmac, sitting on runways, or sitting off in the storage fleet right now. Okay? They are jam-packing flights. They are overbooking flights. They're doing all these crazy things, but the big picture, the macro picture, 50,000 square feet up, you look down and nobody has enough money. It's not just the flight attendants. It's not just the pilots. It's not just the UPS drivers. It's the people that work at schools. It's the people that work at the bank branches. It's the grocery store clerks. Every single person doesn't have the money. So that means everybody equally says, I don't have the money to go flying as much. And so that is the scary thing. The UPS increase was massive. That's going to be, later on, you're going to see to the detriment win to the employees or of the employees, because right now there are tech companies like crazy trying to solve UPS's now biggest problem, which ironically was their largest problem in the beginning, and that is wages. Just because they agreed and they said, okay, we're going to pay more, doesn't mean they're going to not try and figure out ways to fire you, to get rid of you, to replace you with either AI and I get it. There's going to be a lot of people that say, hey, AI can't replace my job. Well, you know what it can do? It's going to replace other jobs, let's say. For everyone that thinks that AI can't replace your job, it's going to replace other people's jobs, and then there's going to be more people applying for your job. And then what's going to happen is the company's going to go, oh, wait a minute now. Yeah, we're sort of stuck paying all these people high wages, but as they retire, we could start people at lower wages, or we could figure something out. Remember a long time ago, and if you're a flight attendant, please let everyone know, the age of flying used to be totally different. We used to get full meals. We would get way more service for what we were paying for, right? And over the years, these have dwindled down. And ironically, well, it's not ironic, it's just sort of the nature of the beast. After COVID, it was like an excuse for more and more companies to do less customer service, less things. I'm not saying that the flight attendants do not give great service. Actually, everybody I've ever flown with in American's awesome, quite frankly. But we have to look at how dangerous this is, right? It says right here, as things stand now, American Airlines offers flight attendants 2.5% match and a 3% contribution toward their 401k, which is way below any other unionized airline group. The vote is one of several steps that need to be taken before the union can launch a legal work stoppage. Federal law requires airline unions to have mediators rule that there is no point to further negotiations, a rarity in the industry. If mediators give the go-ahead for a strike, the president or Congress can step in and block or delay a work stoppage. Union members picketed in front of terminals at several airports nationwide on Wednesday, demanding that American Airlines agree to their demands or pay raises, for pay raises. Let me tell you the story about what happened with me and a flight attendant. Is there any flight attendants or airline staff members in the chat right now? Give like an emoji, type emoji, and let me know if you're here. They were talking about the upcoming mask mandates that they had been told through their people at TSA. They were actually told, hey, this is going to be happening, get ready. And I've had multiple conversations with flight attendants that do not know who I am, or what I do, that are completely awake. They're awake to what's going on in the industry. They're awake to what's going on in the government, and they're working their butt off, like sort of spreading it. I actually overheard a couple of agents talking about the dollar, how it's going down in value. We're losing value. I've had pilots recognize me because of the videos I did a long time ago, where I spoke about what happened in 2006, 2007, around 2005, 2007, where airlines were given the green light to steal their pilots' pensions, completely wipe them out. They were going bankrupt. Remember, that was before the last crash, right? That's where we are right now. Airline rates are starting to drop. Usage of airlines to fly is dropping. More people have less money, so they're spending. They're going on vacations either closer to home or doing staycations. And the airlines were claiming bankruptcy, and they wanted to pull the pensions, and the pilots fought, and they ultimately lost. One pilot I was sitting next to, he was on a deadhead, and he was watching a video of mine. I had to mess with him. I look over and I go, man, that bro hawk is so hot. And he just froze. He wouldn't look at me or nothing. He just like, or no, I said, look at that dude's hair. It's so good looking. And I'm pointing at his phone like my finger's like an inch from his phone, and he's just frozen. I'm like, would you call that a bro hawk? And he immediately looks at me and freaked out. But he said that was when he started watching the videos, was because of this fact that there is now precedent that airlines can take your retirement to make themselves continue on, to make themselves whole. They don't care about you. So understand, and I hope you get the raise. I hope you do, and this is why. Because I hope you got the extra money to stash away right now to pay off that debt. Because there is some turbulent, pardon the expression, times coming ahead of us. And it's no joke. And we need to wake up. So I hope you guys get some value out of this. I can guarantee you this: if and when this strike goes through, coming up against a very busy traveling weekend, or will it? That's the question. We're starting to break down, and people have less money. One of the nation's largest airlines, if not the largest airline, comes to a grinding halt because of this. It's going to definitely cause some waves. It's going to be really interesting. Hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja is out.